Today on Political Access, we've got a 2024 coin flip battle between Kamala Harris for the Democrats and Glenn Youngkin for the Republicans. This was suggested to me in the comments. I'm trying to get through as many of the reasonable suggestions as I can, so hopefully you do get a little bit of entertainment out of these coin flip battles. I know it's random, but usually they're a lot of fun, so let's start flipping. We're going to start in Alaska, and heads is for Harris, tails is for Youngkin, and this is a pretty good showdown. I'm excited to see what happens. Here comes the first flip. Somebody's going to get 3 electoral votes. It's Glenn Youngkin. He's got them. 3 down, 267 to go. Next state, Hawaii, 4 electoral votes. That is going to go blue for Kamala Harris. So far, very typical looking map. Next flip, Washington, 12 electoral votes. That's going to go blue for Kamala Harris. Next, Oregon. That's 8 electoral votes. That's Kamala Harris. 4 states in. Everything looks usual so far. At some point that's going to change. Maybe it'll be on California. 54 electoral votes. Kamala Harris was U.S. Senator from California. She's really going to want to win this state, or that would be pretty embarrassing. Let's see what Glenn Youngkin does, though. Does go to Harris. She's got California. And a massive lead. Youngkin trailing pretty bad here. Let's see what happens on Nevada. 6 electoral votes. Swing state. Goes red for Glenn Youngkin. Youngkin trying to get into double digits. Let's see if he does so on Idaho. 4 electoral votes coming to Kamala Harris. And now the map starts to look different than we would expect. That's what happens on the coin flip battle. Completely random. Next state is Utah. That goes to Kamala Harris. How about Arizona? That's the next flip. That's going to Harris. And Nevada, all surrounded by blue here. But Glenn Youngkin, he's not going to give up. He's going to have to just tap into what he did when he won his governor's election. Let's see if he starts it up here in Montana. 4 votes coming to Glenn Youngkin. Next, Wyoming. That has 3 electoral votes. That goes back to Kamala Harris now. She's not going to let Youngkin get any momentum. Let's see, Colorado. That's the next flip. That's Harris. Harris having a great night so far. She's over 100. Next flip, New Mexico. 5 electoral votes coming to Glenn Youngkin. North Dakota, that's next. 3 electoral votes going to Harris. How about South Dakota? Another 3 electoral votes. That's coming to Harris. Nebraska at large, 2 electoral votes. That's going to Glenn Youngkin. Glenn Youngkin at a massive 20 electoral votes now. Next, we have Nebraska's first. 1 electoral vote coming to Youngkin. How about Nebraska's second? Can Youngkin go 3 straight? Yes, he can. He's got another electoral vote. How about Nebraska's third? Last electoral vote for Nebraska. It does go red for Youngkin. Youngkin has 4 straight, but only 5 electoral votes to show for it. That's pretty disappointing. He's going to need a whole lot more than that. Let's do Kansas now. 6 electoral votes coming to Kamala Harris. Now we've got Oklahoma. 7 electoral votes coming to Kamala Harris. Now we've got Texas. Glenn Youngkin, he's going to want to see tails here, or he's going to be in a massive hole that he's probably not going to be able to climb out of. And Harris, she's not going to want to open the door even a crack for Youngkin. Let's flip it. Let's see what happens. That is tails for Glenn Youngkin. So a little bit of light left for Youngkin still. He's not out of it yet. We're going to go up to Minnesota. 10 electoral votes. That's going back to Kamala Harris. How about Iowa? 6 electoral votes. Glenn Youngkin's got them. Missouri. That has 10 more electoral votes at stake, and that's going to go to Glenn Youngkin. Now we've got Arkansas. Who wants these 6 electoral votes? Glenn Youngkin wants them. He's got them. 3 straight for Youngkin. Next, Louisiana. 8 electoral votes. That's tails for Youngkin. Youngkin slowly clawing his way back into this, but we're going to go to Wisconsin now. 10 electoral votes. Can Youngkin get over 100? He can. He's got them. That's 5 in a row for Youngkin as he streaks into the Rust Belt. Next state, though, Illinois, that has 19 electoral votes. That's a lot. Youngkin really wants him. Harris kind of fell asleep the last couple of flips. These do go to Harris. She gets Illinois. Next, Michigan. 15 electoral votes. Coming to Harris. Now Harris with momentum as we go to Indiana. 11 electoral votes going to Glenn Youngkin. Kentucky's next. 8 electoral votes coming to Glenn Youngkin again. Tennessee now. 11 more votes going to somebody. Kamala Harris puts those in her column. Next, Mississippi. 6 electoral votes coming to Glenn Youngkin. How about Alabama? That's the next flip. Who's going to get him? It's Kamala Harris. Now we've got Florida. Harris is looking to go way over 200 here. Glenn Youngkin, he needs it. 30 votes. Let's flip it. Who's going to get him? It's Glenn Youngkin. He's got him. Glenn Youngkin's still not out of it, but he still trails. Georgia, that's the next flip. 16 electoral votes coming to Kamala Harris. Harris now over 200. South Carolina, 9 more votes going to Glenn Youngkin. He's got him. North Carolina, 16 electoral votes coming to Kamala Harris. Harris now starting to close the door here on Glenn Youngkin, but we've got to go to Ohio. 17 electoral votes. Can Glenn Youngkin get him? He can. He's got him. Youngkin's still not out of it. West Virginia, 4 electoral votes. Not a lot. And they're going to go to Youngkin. Now we can go all the way up here to Maine at large. 2 electoral votes. That's tails for Glenn Youngkin. Maine's first now. That's going to go to Kamala Harris. How about Maine's second? This is the redder district. And it goes blue this time for Harris. New Hampshire, that's the next flip. 4 electoral votes, and those are going to go to Kamala Harris. Vermont's next. Who's going to get these? Glenn Youngkin's going to get them. Next flip is New York. That has 28 electoral votes. And if this comes up heads, Harris is almost guaranteed to win. Glenn Youngkin's been trailing this entire match, but Harris has not been able to seal the deal. Let's flip it. Here's New York. Who's going to get him? That is Glenn Youngkin, taking that huge cache of votes. And now Youngkin is only trailing by 12. He can cut it down to 1 if he wins the next flip, which is Massachusetts. 11 electoral votes. This is pivotal. That does go to Glenn Youngkin. Wow, Glenn Youngkin gets it within 1 electoral vote late in the game. Harris has led the entire match except the first flip with Alaska. Now every vote matters. Let's go to Connecticut. 7 electoral votes coming to Kamala Harris. She's not going to let Youngkin take the lead just yet. Rhode Island. That's next. 4 electoral votes. That's going to Kamala Harris. How about New Jersey now? 14 electoral votes. Glenn Youngkin. He could take the lead here. Who's going to get him? Goes to Kamala Harris. She's got him. Now we've got Delaware. 3 electoral votes. These are going to go to Kamala Harris. And now Harris 1 away from victory with Maryland. That's 10 electoral votes. It's do or die for Youngkin. He's pulled it off before. Let's see if he can do it one more time. Here it is. It is tails for Glenn Youngkin on Maryland. He's still alive. Now we've got D.C. 3 electoral votes. Doesn't really matter who wins this, but this will be a cherry on top for somebody, and it's Kamala Harris. And we've come down to the last 2 states, Pennsylvania and Virginia. Glenn Youngkin needs both of these to win. Harris only needs 1. She's dominated most of this battle. Glenn Youngkin has not given up, though. This is very suspenseful. Glenn Youngkin has set the stage for a monster comeback, but first he's got to do Pennsylvania. Let's flip it. Here it is. It's tails for Glenn Youngkin. He has Pennsylvania, and this is remarkable. 1 state left, it's Virginia. Whoever wins this will be elected president of this coin flip battle. This would be the greatest comeback I've seen out of all the coin flip battles. I thought Harris was going to win this a long time ago. We could keep talking about it, or we could flip it. I'm going to say we flip it. Let's do it. Last flip. Who's going to win it? It's Glenn Youngkin. He wins it on the very last flip. Unbelievable for Glenn Youngkin coming back to beat Kamala Harris in this coin flip battle. Take a look at that map. Kamala Harris dominated early on. She gets her home state of California, the West Coast, plenty of other states, Illinois, Michigan. But Glenn Youngkin didn't want to hear it. He ends up winning it on his home state of Virginia. That is fascinating. Do not count out Glenn Youngkin. After California went blue, I would have bet on Harris all the way, including the very last flip, but never say die with Glenn Youngkin. This is certainly in the top 3 coin flip battles I've ever done. Finally got an absolutely genuine comeback, and you could go on and on about this finish, but that's what happens on the coin flip battle. That's what we want to see. So let me know in the comments. I'm sure you had a great time on this coin flip battle, but did you want to see Kamala Harris actually win it after that massive lead? Or are you glad Glenn Youngkin managed to squeak into the White House on the very last flip? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.